Today is February 23rd. The title is Battle of the Beatitudes, Championship Round. When you think of the Beatitudes, the Gospel of Matthew comes to mind. There are 8 Beatitudes. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up to the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him, and he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be fulfilled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Then Matthew concludes, "Blessed are you when people revile and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil things against you on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." You will notice how I emphasize the end of each blessing. He keeps reiterating, they will, and theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It reminds me of the gospel song, the sweet By and By. In the sweet By and By, a popular hymn of composer Joseph Philbrick Webster with text by S. Fillmore Bennett. Webster and Bennett were neighbors and friends in Wisconsin and wrote many hymns together. This one was composed in 1868. Hear the song sung a century later by Dolly Parton.
There's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar. For the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet we shall meet on that beautiful shore. We shall sing on that beautiful shore the melodious songs of the blessed, and our spirit shall sorrow no more. Not a sigh for the blessing of rest. In the sweet by and by,
It is, if truth be told, one of my favorite gospel songs. It was written shortly after the Civil War, so theoretically, the slaves had been freed, but in one form or another they were still enslaved in so many ways, even when segregation was ended. Today there is still much prejudice and discrimination against people of color. I expect that this song is sung very often in black churches on Sundays and at revivals. Other than nostalgia and familiarity, however, I tend to favor the version of the writer of the Gospel of Luke in his Sermon on the Plain. There is an important difference between the sermon's beatitudes of the two writers. See if you can spot it. It begins similarly to that of Matthew. Jesus came down with him and stood on a level place with a great crowd of his disciples and a great multitude of people from all Judea, Jerusalem, and the coast of Tyre and Sidon. Then he looked up at his disciples and said, "Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you who are hungry now, you will be filled. Blessed are you who weep now, you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you and they exclude you and revile you and defame you on the account of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy. For surely your Lord is great in heaven, for that is what their ancestors did to the prophets." But it ends not just with the wills and the kingdom of God in heaven, but with curses. But the other half is very revealing. "But woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your consolation. Woe to you who are full now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who are laughing now, for you will mourn and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for that is what their ancestors did to the false prophets." It is a direct attack on the unjust power structure that looks only to enrich itself at the expense of the people. Exactly what is happening in the present administration. As an example, they are shutting down diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. This is happening right now when the administration is trying to erase all of the DEI laws. It is cruel, unjust, and has already and will continue to devastate families and communities. There are already demonstrations in every state of the Union, even the red ones, to continue to oppose the unfair edicts of the new administration. But today I just want to focus on DEI examples. The first one, diversity, is based on the reality that people come in many shapes and colors with many gifts and needs. In the case of diversity, the administration has unilaterally, as exposed as false by science, declared that we are only two genders, based largely on a creation myth found in Genesis. So far, this has not impacted me, but I have friends whose children are already feeling the devastating impact. I recently received a message from a fellow clergywoman whose friend had told her that her transgender daughter, just graduating from high school, at their urging, is needing to move to another country as soon as she graduates. Dear friends of many years gave birth to a daughter in 2008. As the child grew, she began to identify as they, them, their, and was totally supported by her parents, even the mother, who is a psychiatrist. I was trying to grasp this new language several years ago when I visited them, and I made the mistake of misgendering their child, calling them your daughter. The father immediately corrected me. "I do not have a daughter." I had written their child, the mother, to ask how this erasure had affected them, who is graduating also this year. The family made a decision that this young adult would now only go by him, her, and his. Equality. As for the term equity, a clarification is needed first. While both equality and equity aim for fairness, the key difference is that equality means treating everyone the same, regardless of their circumstances, while equity means providing different levels of support to ensure everyone can reach the same outcome, recognizing that individuals may have different starting points and needs to achieve fairness. Equality is giving everyone the same thing, while equity is giving everyone what they need to succeed. For equality, it treats everyone the same. It focuses on providing equal access to opportunities. It can sometimes perpetuate existing inequalities if individuals have different needs. Equity recognizes individual difference and provides tailored support. Aims to achieve equal outcomes by addressing specific needs. May involve providing additional resources or accommodations to those who need them. A case in point is a family I've known for decades. Over a year ago, their oldest child, Will, age 7, was diagnosed with bone cancer. After many consultations, radiation, 14 rounds of chemotherapy, the hard decision to make sure this child survived was to amputate his right leg above the knee. His foot was saved and attached to the thigh backwards so that once it was totally healed, it could serve as a fulcrum for his prosthesis. This involved homeschooling, the stool calf supervising it, and not being able to go to school along with his younger brother and sister. I'm sorry, just slow it down and I'll explain. Okay.
Where'd he go?
Okay. Okay, fine. Just go there and I will... Okay, let me just turn it on. Is it going?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to explain the noise. Okay, so... Okay, can you pause it while I explain?
It's paused.
Okay. Can I record something?
It's recording.
Oh. I'm just explaining that our dog loves to be next to me and has been separated, so she's showing her displeasure. There's no way that Will would be able to go to school if the DEI were removed. He's still immunocompromised, trying to catch up, has mobility issues. All of this, his parents realistically fear, may be eliminated. It's not paranoia that leaves them there. Here in Iowa, where all of us live, this is happening. The Attorney General of Iowa has become a plaintiff, signing on with 16 other states, all Republican, to actually get rid of the Section 504 that is for DEI. This directly challenges any special accommodations that a student with special needs such as Will not be provided with any help for him to be able to go to public school. Inclusion is perhaps the vaguest and is affecting or will affect many more people who have not yet been attacked. Transgender people have already been targeted, kicking them out of the military, cutting off health care, informing them that they must go by their birth information. I am sure other targets will be LGBT, trying to erase our hard-won right to marry, to foster or adopt children, to inherit, to prohibit being on the partner's health care plan. The list goes on and on. Thus, for me, Matthew's Beatitudes is beautiful poetry, very well known, often as the only one, forgetting or never having known Luke's version. But it is Luke who speaks truth to power today. No kingdom of heaven, no will be. It is urgent that we understand and act on Luke's prophetic call to action, to confront the rich, the powerful, the systems that continue to support suppression and subjugation. I would like to end with the song that has become the banner of the civil rights movement that began in the 1960s. As black people sat at white-only lunch counters, freedom marchers from all over the country came down by the busload on crowded buses. As the people protested, walked, and sang until the voices were heard all over the land. I am sure you have heard it. We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
we'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. The truth will make us free. Truth will make us free. Truth will make us free. Truth will make us free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid today. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
It is time, now more than ever, to join in their chorus. The future of our country is at stake.